Dickerson is getting the headlines, but Vince Ferragamo is once again the Ram rifleman of old who helped lead Los Angeles to its only Super Bowl. Last week, his missiles reached the 49er end zone 5 times, and tight end Mike Barber is off to the best start of his career. Even so, the born-again Rams must credit their fine first-half start to Dickerson, who in 8 short weeks has become the most feared runner in the National Football League. In addition to Rookie of the Year honors, Dickerson has mounted an all-out assault on the Rams as well as the NFL rushing record book. The last time Dickerson saw Dan Marino was in the Cotton Bowl last January. The Miami Dolphins' young star is the AFC's leading Rookie of the Year candidate and beginning to become the first rookie quarterback to lead either conference in passing since the merger in 1970. In addition, Don Shula's team sports the NFL's #1 pass rusher in Doug Betters, who has already recorded 12 sacks to lead the league. It's the AFC East co-leaders against the NFC West challengers today on CBS. Crowd of 70,000 plus on hand for this NFL interconference battle between the Los Angeles Rams and the Miami Dolphins. It is a warm, windy afternoon here in Miami. Wind blowing 15 miles per hour. It will be a factor in this game. The temperature at 80 degrees. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Lieber along with Dick Vermeil. Isn't often that 2 rookies are the marked men in an NFL game, but that's the case this afternoon with Dan Marino and Eric Dickerson. Now, the Dolphins have one of the best run defenses in the league. They always seem to do well against the good runners. What do you think they have in store for Dickerson, Dick?
Well, Frank, I don't think Miami will change their defensive scheme very much. They have a very experienced staff. They've defensed a lot of people. I don't think they'll change. Watching them on the practice field Friday, they were emphasizing the real fundamental things, the things that you teach high school kids. Keep the shoulders square, approach inside out, force them to the sideline, don't let them turn back. They'll play good defense today.
Dan Marino, last quarterback selected in the draft, but he's been spectacular the last 3 weeks, and he's going against a defense that is suspect against the pass. Now, how about the Rams' approach to defensing Marino?
I kind of believe, Frank, that they're going to play those 2 wide receivers a little bit more double coverage than they have in the past. Force Miami to throw the ball to the tight end and those running backs.
If it gets down to the kicking game, there's some interesting contrasts here between these 2 clubs.
Well, if the game comes down to the kicking game, I think Miami has the edge. Uwe von Schamann is the experienced kicker. He's kicked the tough field goal in the tough situation. The Ram kicker, Chuck Nelson, he isn't kicking real well. They've had protection problems, bad snap problems. I'd have to give the edge to Miami.
And we're ready for the opening kickoff. The Dolphins have won the toss of the coin and have elected to receive. And that is the Rams rookie kicker, Chuck Nelson, counting noses as he prepares to kick it off. Slight chance of rain in the forecast this afternoon, and the wind is really blowing from right to left. And deploying himself deep, Fulton Walker, number 41. Remember Fulton last year? In the Super Bowl game, ran one back 98 yards against the Washington Redskins. One of the premier punt returners in the National Football League, or rather punt and kickoff returners for that matter. Very important game for both sides. Rams right now 1 game behind the 49ers in the NFC West, and of course the Dolphins going in today are tied with the Buffalo Bills for the top spot in the American Football Conference East Division. Nelson with the wind drives it 9 yards deep in the end zone, and Walker will not return. So let's take a look at the Miami Dolphins as they line up offensively. They've had problems in the rushing game. In fact, overall offensively, they're ranked 23rd in the league. Been playing some great defense, however. They need more from Nathan and from Franklin. The offensive line anchored by the 14-year veteran Bob Kuechenberg. That's an outstanding group. Dan Johnson is a new starter at the tight end position, number 87. First and 10. There's Dan Marino, All-American at Pitt his last 2 years. 27th player selected in the draft, and the 6th quarterback. Nathan on the pitch. 20, 25, nose down, and he has a first down at the 30-yard line on the very first play from scrimmage. Now defensively for the Los Angeles Rams, who line up with the front 3, as do most clubs in the NFL. Jack Youngblood, the veteran in that bunch. DeJournay, a recent starter, beating out Greg Meissner. The linebacking crew, Eckern has been outstanding. So is George Andrews. And Mel Owens really coming along. And the secondary, 2 of the best safeties in professional football, and John Johnson and Nolan Cromwell. It is first and 10 Dolphins from their 30-yard line. Nathan 22 and Franklin 37 the setbacks. Marino's first pass of the day over the middle, complete to the tight end Dan Johnson. That'll be good for 7 yards up to the 37-yard line. Ecker, number 55, making the stop for the Rams. One thing about Los Angeles, Dick, they seem to have the respectability back.
Oh, no, they're playing with tremendous enthusiasm, having a lot of fun playing. I'm really curious to see them play on the road because we saw them play at home, and they played super football and excitable football. It was just exciting to watch them play.
Tough part of the Dolphins' schedule upcoming. They have the Rams this week, then they get the 49ers next week, so they'll get their test. Second down, 2 needed for the first down. Marino on what normally would be a running down, hits Nathan for the first. Tony Nathan trying to keep his feet, has the first down and more as he takes it out to the 49-yard line. Jim Collins, number 50, the left inside linebacker, made the stop, and the crowd roars its approval.
They're just throwing a little check down to the running back. See, he just checks down out of the backfield, coming to the right. The linebackers have buzzed out of there already. Now he makes a miss, gets upfield. This guy's healthy again, and they really think he's going to start coming on this second half of the season.
Second first down of this opening drive by the Miami Dolphins. The pickup was good for 10 yards. They spotted at the Dolphin 48-yard line. First and 10. Nat Moore, the veteran, wide to the right side. Mark Duper, the sensational youngster, is flanked to the left. He's caught 5 touchdown passes already this year. Again, out to the tight end, and it is complete over on the far side, and going out of bounds is number 84, Bruce Hardy, who is the second tight end. That'll take it into the Rams end of the field to the 45-yard line.
They're in that 2 tight end formation right now, Frank, with 2 wide receivers. A substitution's coming in the game, so they have 2 running backs again. But that's going to give them some problems.
Final scores to pass along, and sorry about this one. The Baltimore Colts edge the Philadelphia Eagles 22-21, Dick's old team, and Atlanta has put it on New England. That's also a final, 24-13. We're just underway here in the Orange Bowl in Miami, 2nd and 2, and Andre Franklin picks up the first. He's down to the 35, running to the 30-yard line, and it is first down for the Dolphins. Nolan Cromwell, number 21, made the stop, but the bull-like rush of Andre Franklin, good for another first down.
You're going to see the right guard. Watch the right guard as you look at it pull and come around the center's block. Now see him come around there. Watch him block the linebacker. Bang, he's onto it. There goes Franklin with that power right up through the hole. Nicely executed running play. Just good people doing what they're supposed to do.
And in that case, number 64, Ed Newman, was the guy came up with the key block. First and 10, Dolphins from the Ram 30-yard line. Sideline throw to Moore is good for 5. Out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Again, that 2 tight end formation, 2 wide receivers, throwing the high percentage passing game, not trying to go deep, just throw that 4- and 5-yard gain type ball, and it's working.
Now, Shula will call most of the plays from the bench, but in the long yardage situations, he told us yesterday he lets Marino call the plays.
Yeah, he says it takes him too much time to signal it in or send it in with a player on those long yardage downs because too much has to be said. The game plan is defined. He goes ahead and calls him at that time. Right?
Get a youngster here, Dan Marino. Right now, number 1 in the AFC and number 2 in the NFL overall. Tony Nathan hit behind the line. Does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Hit at the 27-yard line. Good sharp defense. Reggie Dawes, number 71, was the first to reach him off the Rams defensive unit. A loss back to the 27-yard line. That will set up 3rd and 7. Now we're talking about one of these long yardage plays.
Now he'll call this one himself because there's a lot of terminology involved in the formation, the motion they might be using, and the total pattern and the protection. So he lets him go ahead and call that himself.
He has liked to go to Mark Duper, who is a sprinter lined up on the left side. He's hit Duper for 5 touchdowns already this year. Duper's been a real surprise. Heflin in motion, the 3rd wide receiver. It is Heflin who takes the pass and is really cracked at the 23-yard line by Cromwell, number 21.
Nolan really gave him a love tap, didn't he? That's a great hit. The Rams are dogging the 2 people up inside. See them coming right up in the middle of your screen, 52 and 58. Now watch him hit. Here he comes right across. Now watch. Pow! That is a real hit. Good, clean shot.
It was Mark Clayton, number 83, who did a great job hanging on to the football. It is not quite enough for the first down. They're looking at 4th and less than a yard needed for the first down at the 21-yard line. And the Dolphins obviously very confident the way their offense has been moving here in this initial drive are going for it. 5 and out of bounds at the 4. Tony Nathan, needing one, almost got the touchdown.
The key to that, Frank, was Roy Foster, an offensive tackle playing the right tight end position. He really did a great job. Now watch, the ball's going to be tossed deep to the tailback. See this? Now we're going to catch the right side of the screen. Now see, right there, the defense was stopped by Roy Foster's block. Nice block right there by Andre Plankton, turned up inside. Now he's just running, using his own innate ability. The guy that just made a great tackle made a poor tackle.
Dolphins have held the ball since the opening kickoff. They have now driven to the 3-yard line of the Los Angeles Rams. It is 1st and goal. It is Woody Bennett who is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there. It's the middle of the Rams line. Jams him up. Dejournay, number 70. Collins, number 50. Ecker, number 55. Andrews, they're all in on the stop. It'll be no gain. 2nd and goal to go from the 3. Both teams with identical records of 5 wins against 3 setbacks. Don Shula, at the age of 53, in his 21st year as a head coach in the National Football League, and certainly one of the most respected coaches in the game.
And still having a lot of fun coaching football.
2nd down goal. Hardy, the tight end, was in motion, now sets himself on the wing off to the right side. The fake into the middle. Marino on the bootleg will run for it. Touchdown. Runs 3 yards for the touchdown. Big block by Kuchenberg, number 67, along the way. Well, John Robinson not too happy about the way his defense played that first series.
I think that was just a case of really fine execution on part of the offense.
They did a great job of mixing it up all the way down the field. Uwe von Schamen with the extra point try, and the forgotten man in the quarterback derby at Miami, Don Strock, will be the holder. 7-0. Dolphins lead it. Look at it again now from the end zone.
This is an option runner pass all the way. He's going to make a little token fake to tie up that halfback in there. See that? The linebacker's on him man to man. Now he's coming out. He has the option to run or pass. If number 6, see Kuchenberg, number 67, watch him get that block right there. Dan Johnson, the tight end, number 87, goes out into the flat, and he has the option to run or pass dependent upon what the defense does.
So the Dolphins lead it 7-0. We've got 9 minutes and 48 seconds left to play in the opening period, and the Rams haven't touched the football yet. 11 plays, 80 yards.
This game sounds like, Frank, it's going to be one of those games where the quarterbacks are going to have a hard time hearing the signals and the rest of the people because of the noise created by these fans.
Dolphins ran off 5 minutes and 12 seconds on the clock. Climax by Marino's touchdown run. You know, you can speak from experience about the noise down there. You had a big problem on a Monday night game, as I recall, with the Eagles.
Frank, we were in the shotgun, and the rest of the football team could not hear the quarterback calling the signal, so we just kept turning to the referee and say, sir, we can't hear. Finally, we went ahead and snapped it through an interception.
Von Schamen ready to kick off. Barry Rent is in the center of the formation. That's against the wind. You can see the difference that the wind makes. Eddie Hill at the 20-yard line. Correction, that's Robert Alexander, number 31. Ball hung up in the air. Alexander came down with it and returned it near the 40-yard line. Take a look at the Rams' offensive backs and receivers. Of course, Preston Denard missed a good part of the season early because of an injury. Dickerson is the key guy. He needs just 5 yards rushing to become the first runner in the league to gain 1,000. There's the Rams' veteran offensive line. Barber has already caught 38 passes this year. By contrast, last year in 9 games, he caught only 18. 1st and 10, Rams at their 38. Guman in motion. And Ferragamo back to throw. Goes to his fullback, Guman. Out to the 45, to the 46-yard line. In the Rams terminology, they actually called Guman the U-back, which is an old John Robinson term from Southern Cal. Take a look at the Defensive lineup for the Dolphins, the front three, including Betters, who leads the NFL in sacks with an even dozen. Mike Charles is filling in today for Bocamper, who's out with an injury. There's the Dolphin linebackers. And that's an area they've had a lot of injury problems this year. And the secondary, they've had a big injury problem there with Don McNeil being out all season with an Achilles tendon injury. Second down, 3. From the 46, on the delay, they go to Dickerson, and he gets 1. One very tough yard. Baumhauer, number 73, in the middle.
They were trying to run a little draw off the center's block, Doug Smith on Baumhauer, but they didn't get it.
So we'll keep close tabs on Dickerson's yardage. He needs 4 now to become the first man to hit 1,000. We were checking him this morning as we get another final score here today. Detroit swamping the Chicago Bears 38-17. Lions seem to break loose just periodically, and when they do, boy, it's murder. They did it to Green Bay, you recall, several weeks ago. Our score, 7-0. The Dolphins lead it. 8 minutes, 15 seconds left in the opening period. Third down, 2, and the Rams want a timeout. Unusual spot to call a timeout, isn't it?
Must have had some confusion either in the substitution or the play called, and Vince doesn't want to risk making a mistake. He just goes over and gets it clarified.
Want to remind you that CBS Sports Saturday, next coming up. NCAA football action. Many of you will see the Pittsburgh Panthers take on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, who have really come on strong in the latter stages of the season. Or the Florida Gators against Southeastern Conference rival Georgia, plus other regional action. All begins with the NCAA today. That starts at 3:30 Eastern Time next Saturday afternoon. I tell you, Notre Dame, after losing a couple early, have really come on strong.
They've been playing strong, and you know, college football is becoming a little bit more intense these last few weeks of the season.
We welcome those of you who have been watching the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. Frank Lieber along with Dick Vermeil. We're in the Orange Bowl in Miami. The Dolphins took the opening kickoff and marched 80 yards for a touchdown, with Dan Marino scoring from 2 yards away. And the Rams have moved almost to midfield on their first possession of the afternoon. So it's 7-0 Miami. Third down and 2 upcoming for the Los Angeles Rams, with the ball at their own 46-yard line. Vince Ferragamo at the throttle. Dickerson trying to pick up the first, and is stopped behind the line of scrimmage by Doug Betters, number 75. And look at that Dolphin defense. It would appear that they have taken on Mr. Dickerson as a personal project.
Yes, sir. That's what happens when a guy becomes that good. You're going to see in this end zone shot that he's starting to his left. Now watch him start. He's coming off. He's going to try to cut back. Now look at all those people keeping their shoulders square. There's Betters coming off the tackle's block. He tried to cut back. No lane to cut back in.
Punting situation, and John Misko is the Ram punter. Mark Clayton is deep for the Miami Dolphins. Good kick with the wind. Clayton watches it and fields it at the 6. Normally deeper than you would field it. He gets up to about the 9-yard line. Anytime inside the 10, most of you coaches will say let it bounce.
Let it bounce unless you sense it's going to drop at the 10 or roll to the 1 or something like that. But that ball would have rolled into the end zone, especially with the wind behind it.
47 yards on the punt and a 3-yard counterpunch by Clayton, and it is 1st and 10 for the Dolphins at their 9. Houston and Cleveland have gone into overtime. Will this be the day for the Oilers?
Well, I shouldn't say I hope so. I have friends in Cleveland, but that's the 3rd overtime game for Houston so far this year, and they've lost them both.
Law of averages got to catch up to him sometime. 7-0 our score. The Dolphins lead the Rams. Miami with a 1st and 10 from its 9-yard line as you look at the sensational rookie quarterback Dan Marino. Nat Moore in motion. They go with Andre Franklin up the middle for a yard, maybe 2. Gets it out to about the 12-yard line, and Jim Collins, number 50, jams it up for the Los Angeles Rams. This is a rather rare meeting between these two clubs. They don't see each other very often.
Only played 3 times, Frank, with Miami winning twice, the Rams winning 1 time.
And not since 1980.
Tough to win down here. It really is, regardless of the situation. It's tough.
They've had a great record down through the years. It is 2nd down and 7 for the Dolphins from their 12. Franklin running hard across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Again, Collins, number 50, on the stop. Hard to believe this fellow was a a blocking back primarily back at Nebraska. For people like Jarvis Redwine and I.M. Hip, and where are they now? And look what he's doing. That's the time remaining in the first period here at the Orange Bowl. 6 minutes and 35 seconds. Dolphins leading 7-0. Third down coming up, and a short 2 needed for the first down.
Franklin's been playing banged up. Both shoulders have been bothering him, and I think what Don said, he feels better now than at any other time.
One of the Ram defenders down on the field. Haven't got his number yet. We'll pick it up for you in just a moment. He's pointing to his left shoulder.
It looks like Jim Collins, number 50.
Collins been a little snake bit in the injury department. He, of course, is backed up by the veteran Jim Youngblood, who held that starting position for 7 years before Collins beat him out.
It looks like he just stung his left shoulder, and he'll probably be back.
There's John Robinson, the rookie head coach of the Los Angeles Rams, who has instilled a new spirit in the Rams this year and seems to be enjoying it. Says really pro coaching a lot more fun than college coaching is what he told us.
Well, he really enjoyed USC, but there's a lot of other things other than coaching in college. You know, the recruiting, the summer job program, the grade problems, the administration and the alumni. Pro football is all football.
He's having fun, and so is his team so far this year. Third down. Little more than a yard needed for the first down for the Dolphins at their 17. They go to Nathan, and they've got him jammed over on the right side. Great job by the Ram defenders, particularly the right side linebacker, George Andrews, number 52, who really fired in there.
He's really playing well, having his best year. Of course, he ought to be a good football player. He's a first-round draft choice out of Nebraska. He ought to be able to play well.
Loss of 3 on the play. It'll be 4th and 4. And take a look now at one of the top punters in the National Football League, a rookie, Reggie Roby.
He's really unorthodox. Watch his different style. I think you fans will notice that this is different than what you normally see on Sunday afternoon.
Now he's punting against the wind here, standing on the goal line. Watch how he holds his hands out. The deep man is Irvin. Deliberate kicker. That's a great kick into the wind, and the hang time is unbelievable. Irvin at the 35, 40 up to the 45. He had a hang time of that of 4.88, which is excellent. Timeout, 50 yards on the punt. We'll be back in just a moment.
It takes guts to redesign one of the world's most popular cars. Introducing Toyota Corolla, Reborn. This sport liftback was reborn to please you with its balanced handling. Reborn to please your friends with its surprising performance. Reborn to please anyone with its low Toyota price. The 1984 Toyota Corolla Sport Liftback. Reborn to please the world.
Oh, what a feeling. The Erie Canal that linked mid-America to the port of New York took 8 back-breaking years to dig by hand. That kind of determination made this country grow. Today, I see that same determination in hundreds of small to mid-sized companies whose new ideas, new technologies, and new jobs will continue to build America. At First Jersey Securities, we specialize in discovering emerging growth companies for today's investors with vision. First Jersey Securities, come grow with us.
Welcome back to the Orange Bowl. Very windy with the wind blowing from right to left. One of the Ram players on the specialty unit was shaken up during that punt return, and we were marveling at the distance and the height that Roby got into that punt against the wind, 50 yards with great hang time. It was Leroy Irvin, who was the punt returner, who returned the kick 10 yards, who was shaken up.
He's a fine punt returner. I hope he really isn't injured because they'd miss him not only in the secondary but in their kicking game.
These are games in progress in the 4th period. St. Louis surprising a lot of folks, leading Minnesota 41-31. Been a long year so far for the Cardinals, and that'll quiet things down at St. Louis if they can pull that one off. So Irvin being held from the field. They've got 5 minutes and 9 seconds left to play in the opening period. Let's see what kind of hit he took here, Dick.
Well, he's propped up there a little bit, seeing someone comes in from the side, and I think someone had his feet wrapped up, and he twisted and maybe twisted a knee.
As we go back to play, the Rams will come up with excellent field position despite Roby's fine putt. With a first down at their 45-yard line. They trail 7-0. This is only their second possession of the afternoon. Denard is split to the left side by Vince Ferragamo. Single back, of course, is Dickerson. And Ferragamo to throw. Open over the middle is Barber, and he couldn't hold it. The tight end, Mike Barber, who has caught the ball so well, but over 100 yards receiving last week for the Rams, but not this time.
I think we're going to see here that Mike Barber actually starts to run with the football. There's a dog coming up inside. A.J. Dewey picked up by the running back. Now watch him turn his hat right there. See that? He took his eyes off the ball too soon.
Pretty good job. You noticed on the replay that Dickerson did on Dewey.
He picked him up real nice, cut him down, eliminated the rusher.
2nd and 10. Rams from their 45. Farmer in motion. Dickerson trying to get to the outside and stopped at the 49-yard line.
That might be his 1,000 yards right there, Frank.
Well, they dropped him for a loss earlier, so right now he's looking at 3 carries for a total of 4 yards, so he would need 1 more.
As we watch Miami's defense play, we're going to really recognize the fact that they're really trying to keep their shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage.
And welcome to those of you who have been watching the Tampa Bay-Pittsburgh game. Steelers had quite a battle on their hands. Frank Lieber along with Dick Vermeil here in Miami. 3rd down, 6. Rams ball from their 49. They trail 7-0. Ferragamo, one-handed catch by Dickerson. Now that's something that Dickerson wasn't counted on to do much in college. And what has really surprised the Rams is the way he's been catching the football. It's criminal for a guy to be able to run that good and also catch like that.
It's unbelievable. You see how he did? He make it look so easy. Just reach around there, grab it one hand, and go ahead and play the game. Boy, is he gifted.
Nice soft hands for Eric Dickerson. And we welcome also those of you who've been watching the New Orleans Saints battle Buffalo. That turned into quite a game. Buffalo winning it 27-21. We're in the Orange Bowl in Miami. The Rams are the Dolphins. Rams trailing 7-0 at this point, but they have a first down at the Dolphin 43-yard line. Gooman, the U-back in motion, leading the interference for Dickerson. Dickerson 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. He is out of bounds at the 3. Well, there's his 1,000 yards. And welcome to those of you who've been watching St. Louis come up with a big victory over Minnesota. You just missed a great run by Eric Dickerson, but you'll see it again, I am sure.
They have Mike Gooman going in motion to the left of the screen. Now they toss it to him. Look at the nice blocks right here at the point of attack. Beautiful block on Vetters right there. He makes him miss right there. Now he goes ahead and gets a block by a wide receiver, believe it or not, and he's running free.
40 yards.
Come on.
Couldn't quite get to the goal line. He shoved out of bounds by William Judson. And Dickerson will get a breather. That puts Eric over 1,000 yards. The first rusher in the NFL to achieve that mark this year. First and goal from the 3. Not much there that time as the door opened and closed quickly for Barry Redden, number 30.
Boy, he's no slouch as a runner either, Frank. He's averaging 5.1 yards a carry, a number 1 draft choice, a gifted ball carrier.
And welcome also to those of you who've watched the Cowboys beat the Giants 38-20. Frank Lieber along with Dick Vermeil in the Orange Bowl, and right now the Los Angeles Rams are threatening to tie this up. They trail Miami 7-0, but they have a second and goal from the Dolphin 2-yard line, courtesy of a 40-yard run by Eric Dickerson. Dickerson 29, Gooman 44, the setbacks. This is a tough Dolphin defense. Dickerson stopped short of the goal line. Thus far, Miami has given up just 3 touchdowns rushing on the season, so they may have to put it up.
And they're the best in the National Football League down here. 3 touchdowns running. That's remarkable in 8 football games.
If anything, Dickerson lost about a half yard on that play. It'll be third, a little more than 2 needed for the first down.
I would expect some kind of option pass right now, run or throw.
Miami crowd, 70,000 plus, chanting defense as the Rams come up to the line of scrimmage. 2 yards separating them from tying up this game. And Ferragamo can't hear. That's what we were talking about earlier. As we said, you know that story. The only problem is every time you do it, the crowd gets louder and louder.
No way you can win.
What do you finally have to do? I mean, of course, you had the problem in the shotgun.
Yeah, there's really not much you can do. But, you know, it's easier for the people when they're in a tight formation. There's no wide receivers there. They're all in there tight. There's a wing back. They can hear it most of the time.
This crowd here in Miami really an ally. We've got a timeout. We'll be back in just a moment.
Toyota is turning the truck world upside down with a new generation Toyota 4x4. An all-new truck designed to give you more room and more comfort, yet tough enough and rugged enough to take on anything it can put its four wheels on. The 1984 Toyota 4x4s, now an even tougher act to follow.
Oh, 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 what a feeling, Toyota.
Third and goal, and the crowd is going nuts. And again, Ferragamo steps back.
They'll only get worse.
Normally you have that problem in the shotgun, but obviously he's bringing him up in the straight T formation. He still can't hear the signals. And Bob McElwee is appealing now with the Dolphins defense to maybe help a little bit with the crowd, quiet them down. You can wave your hands and all that, but it doesn't do a lot of good.
No, it really doesn't. In fact, in this stadium, sometimes it just excites the fans or ignites them, one or the other. Look at that guy right there. He wants them to yell a little louder.
I think he wants to play. McElwee is now coming over to Don Shula, who has summoned him from the Dolphins bench. Of course, you can call timeout as long as the quarterback steps back.
You watch now. Shula will raise his hands and everyone will shut up. They say he walks on water down here. He ought to be able to raise his hands. Look at.
The referee says, "Do this, Don. Wave your hands like a duck," right?
Yes.
Right? And so Shula waved his hands.
Boy, is he a great football coach.
Year after year after year, despite the problems they've had at linebacker this year, the tragic loss of Larry Gordon, injuries to such key players as Jimmy Cefalo, Tommy Vigorito, Don McNeil, he's still got them contending. Here we go, third down and goal. Let's see if they get it off. Ferragamo to throw to Gooman. Gooman drives into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Great fake to Dickerson into the middle.
Really good. Those fakes tie up those inside linebackers playing man-to-man there. Then they cross the man across the formation, and that guy has to come all the way across. Now watch the fake inside. Watch the running quarterback make a fake. See that? Big Kent Hill, number 72, looking for a rusher. Here comes Dewey. Dewey, number 77. There's Gooman running out there. Now he's going to get it in the end zone. That's it. Breaks the plane, scores before Roan, number 55, can get there.
Ferragamo with his 14th touchdown pass of the year. And the Rams an extra point away from tying this one up.
They've had some problems here with snaps and getting kicks blocked this year, and 3 kicks have been blocked.
They've changed snappers here in the last couple of weeks. Chuck Nelson, rookie place kicker from Washington. He's got this one.
Did a nice job on that.
2 minutes, 24 seconds left in the opening period. Rams 7, Dolphins 7.
Mike McCabe ran his first long-distance race. He didn't finish first, but he sure did finish. Looks like a stroll-light night.
Looks like a stroll-light night. Looks like a stroll-light night. When things are going right, looks like a stroll-light night.
Stroll-light, a great-tasting beer that doesn't fill you up.
Hey, that's me, guys. Looks like a stroll-light night when good times come along.
Introducing a Wonder Wagon.
Wonder what it is.
Introducing the new 1984 Toyota van. You'll wonder why no one ever thought of it before.
I wonder if it's a car. I wonder if it's a van.
It looks like nothing you've ever seen before. It can seat 7, sleep 4, or carry 1,500 pounds of apples. You can even get an ice maker. And 2 sunroofs.
I know, it's a condominium.
Make no mistake about it, the new Toyota van.
What a feeling, Toyota.
A Christmas gift from Radio Shack.
We got this TRS-80 Color Computer 2 on sale. Only $159.95. Instant loading program packs make it
a game arcade,
a home manager,
an educational center, and we're learning to program.
It has a typewriter quality keyboard, and it's expandable.
Radio Shack has a Christmas sale we can all enjoy.
The TRS-80 Color Computer 2, $159.95, only at Radio Shack, where color computing starts as low as $79.95.
The book on the Los Angeles Rams' first scoring drive of the day, 54 yards. Took him 7 plays and climaxed by Ferragamo's 2-yard pass to Gooman, and Chuck Nelson, who added the extra point, is kicking off again with the win. Fulton Walker, 4 yards deep, out to the 5, 10-15. Walker slips as he tries to make his cut just inside the 20-yard line. Is squashed at the 19. And the Dolphins have put it in play from there. Mike Wiltshire, second-round draft choice for the Rams, number 94, making the stop as the Dolphins offense goes to the attack. Next week, the Cowboys and the Eagles, a game that you're vaguely familiar with, and most of you will see that here on CBS.
You know, that's more than a game between two teams. That's a game between two cities when it comes to Philadelphia anyway. Those Philadelphia fans just don't like the Dallas City people.
That's the key game in the first half of our CBS doubleheader. First and 10 Rams at the 19-yard line. Dan Marino over the middle, completes it to Hardy, the tight end, at the 26-yard line. Good catch by Hardy, who was in the grasp of Nolan Cromwell. Bruce Hardy, one of 3 fine tight ends, including Johnson and Rose.
You can see he's at the wingback's position at the left part of your screen. Now he goes underneath the linebacker. They're just waiting for him to beat the linebackers underneath. See, he's not going to try to go behind him, just in front of him. Just there right now. That's his 7th catch for the year.
Yeah, we talked to Shula yesterday and asked him about Marino, and I said, aren't you surprised this kid's doing as well? And he said, no, he wasn't really, did he?
No, well, he really believes in their preparation, and I think he's at the right place to come on this quickly.
On 2nd and 2, Franklin picks up the first down out to the 32-yard line. Well, I think you make an excellent point there concerning Marino. It's an ideal spot for rookies. He's got a great coach. He's with a team that's a contender, and he is surrounded by veterans.
And he's come out of a fine pass offense in college, so he has that experience. But Don Shula has a way of bringing the best out of young players quicker than everybody else.
Well, he did it with Woodley in the past. And of course, Marino was only the 6th quarterback selected in the first round, and probably a few scouts around the NFL are checking their list. He did have an off senior year after a sensational junior year. 1st and 10 from the 31. Marino comes out throwing. We got a flag back at the line of scrimmage. Nathan is short of the first down marker at the 39-yard line, and the call will be holding against Miami. You know, talking to Don Strock about Marino yesterday, he said his nickname his junior year was touchdown. His senior year, they called him interception at Pitt. So they've been needling him quite a bit. Here's the call by Bob McElwee.
Number 68, offense, first down.
Eric Laxo.
Boy, this is something that Don doesn't like to do. He does not like to see his team penalized. They're the least penalized team in the National Football League almost every year.
This game started the same time our game did here in Miami. Green Bay leading Cincinnati 7-6 in the opening period, and Kansas City over Denver by the same margin also in the first period of play. Our score 7-7. 45 seconds left in the opening quarter. Dolphins looking at 1st and 20 from their 21. They've been running the ball well. Tony Nathan that time for the short yardage up to the 25-yard line. Marino, by the way, if you keep track of figures, we keep getting back to Marino, is 6 out of 6 for 45 yards.
That Bob Kuchenberg is amazing. What's the left guard, number 67, playing 14 years? See him get that trap block, open up that hole? Can you imagine doing that for 14 years and still having fun?
You know, he is the only guy left who played on the original Miami Super Bowl teams back in the early 70s.
You really have to give that guy a lot of credit. He's a tough son of a gun.
2nd down, 16. Dolphins from their 26. Marino, protection is good, drills it over the middle. Johnson, the tight end, at the 31-yard line. Dolphins not being greedy, trying to get the first down all at once as Johnson hobbles off the field. They're just doing it 5, 6, 8 yards at a time. And now they're looking at a 3rd down and 10 as the clock runs out, ending the first period of play. Dan Johnson, the tight end for the Dolphins, leaving the field. That's the end of quarter number 1 here at the Orange Bowl, with the teams tied at 7.
Toyota is turning the truck world upside down. Introducing the new generation Toyota Standard Bed, Toyota's lowest priced truck with a big 2.4-liter single overhead cam engine, a 1,400-pound payload, and a price that'll leave your bank account right side up. $59.98. The 1984 Toyota, a new standard for a new generation.
Oh, what a feeling, Toyota.
Shotgun Rapids, Idaho, and Milwaukee. Folks mean something great to these guys. The shotgun means white water at its best. And Milwaukee means beer. Cold, crisp, old Milwaukee beer. And smooth, golden old Milwaukee Light.
And old Milwaukee.
And old Milwaukee Light.
Taste as great as their name.
You know, guys, it doesn't get any better than this.
You know, the secret to a comfortable retirement is really no secret. You need a smart investment firm to help you get there.
And the best way to find that investment firm is to ask a lot of questions.
And Katie and I asked.
And the more we asked, the more good things we heard about one company, Dean Witter.
We heard about the quality of their financial advice and programs.
We heard they really listen, really care.
For us, Dean Witter was worth asking about.
Dean Witter, worth asking about.
Toyota's new cars and trucks for 1984. Toyota invites you to see them at your local dealer. And buy Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this.
Frank Lieber along with Dick Vermeil, welcome to the Orange Bowl in Miami. As we start the second period, the Dolphins have a 3rd and 10 upcoming from their 31-yard line. Game tied at 7, and Dan Marino has him in the shotgun. Marino under pressure over the middle, completes the pass. Nat Moore bounces off a tackler and is not quite to the first down marker. So they'll be punting.
You know, that was different, Frank. Excuse me. The Los Angeles Rams did not go to their nickel defense. They stayed in there with a 3-down lineman and rushed 1 linebacker. You can see the 2 linebackers inside, Eckern and Collins. See number 50 rushing in there? Now watch him turn and come and make the tackle. He'll appear on the screen. There's a good pop right there. He turns around, and you're going to see number 50 come flying right now. There he makes a tackle. Rushed the quarterback, turned around and made the play. Fine linebacking.
4th down, 3. Roby to punt, and this time with the wind. He had a 50-yarder against the wind a few moments ago.
This was liable to go out the back of the end zone.
Fielded at the 6-yard line by Johnny Johnson. We've got a penalty marker down on the far side of the field. 54 yards on that punt and 8 on the return as Roby, the rookie from Iowa, puts another one in orbit. But we got a marker down at about the spot where the ball was caught and the tackle was made. They'll spot it at the 15-yard line after the discussion is over, and then we'll have penalty yardage marked off from there. Bob McElwee is the referee, and he will interpret for you and give you a rundown as the wind continues to pick up here, blowing from right to left, and certainly to the advantage of the Miami Dolphins here in the second quarter.
This could really hurt the Rams, put them in poor field position, then they'll have to punt into the wind.
1st and 10.
Well, they talked it over and said no foul. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Dolphins at their 15 when we come back right after this.
Chevrolet is taking charge with a new high-output Camaro Z28 and enough new magic to take its 2+2 performance into another world.
Z28.
The magic of 5 powerful liters.
28.
The magic of a new higher lift cam and super-tuned ignition that did a test track 0 to 55 in a quick 6 seconds.
Z28.
The magic of improved suspension.
28.
Suspension that delivers remarkable new handling.
Z28.
braking that's almost extraterrestrial.
C28
Camaro, more beauty and a lot more beast.
Chevrolet.
And you.
Taking charge.
There's a man made the tackle on the punt return, Robert Sowell. What a great story he is, Dick.
Don Shula was talking to us about him yesterday. Played 1 year of college football, made this football team in training camp by covering punts and kickoffs and doing a super job. That was his 13th solo tackle on special teams.
He said in the preseason game against the Redskins, he had the most spectacular game that a special team member has ever had. On coverage, Ferragamo. After the 25-yard line, the elusive Eric Dickerson, and that is his second reception of the day. Now for an NFL Today report, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Frank, it's over in overtime. The Cleveland Browns have handed the Houston Oilers their 9th straight defeat this year, and they did it with a touchdown. Boyce Green, 20 yards out. The Oilers are 8-26 since Bum Phillips left that franchise. Let's go back to Frank and Dick.
Believe that they lost the 3 overtime games.
That's hard to do. I feel sorry for those guys. Here's the no running back formation. No back in the backfield. Take a look at that.
1st and 10. Ferragamo passes tip and flutters harmlessly to the grass at the 27-yard line. Now that is a most unusual formation. You talk about your one-back offense. That was your no-back offense.
No-back offense. John Robinson told us yesterday they were going to do a little bit of this just to get Dickerson in a better position to catch the ball. They have enough blockers. See, no running back, fans. No halfback, no fullback. See the lineman compensating, number 60. See him Hara pick up the rusher right there. The ball was batted in the air, and what the fans are booing about, see Mike Barton tackle Roan, number 55 there? They felt that should have been defensive holding, or offensive holding, rather.
Pretty smart play, actually, to get him out of the way, isn't it?
Barber's no fool.
He's been around. Ferragamo with a spectacular week in a losing cause against San Francisco. 5 touchdowns. 2nd and 10. Rams at their 25. Ferragamo faking to Gooman, decides to go instead to Farmer, who can't reach it at the near sideline. George Farmer, good rush that time by Doug Betters, who almost got to him. Number 75, the Dolphin defensive end who leads the National Football League in sacks. You know, he's way above what he had in the past, isn't he?
He is 3 better right now than his best year ever. 1979, he had 9 sacks, and he's doing better than that right now.
He's up to a dozen, and we're just at the halfway mark of the season, actually starting the second half. Doug Betters.
He ran a little stunt with A.J. Dewey, number 77, a linebacker. He came around behind him, and he really decked old Ferragamo.
3rd down, 10. One back offense, and that back, of course, is Dickerson. Flag down is Dickerson to the 30, up to the 35-yard line. Picked up about 9 on the play, but there was a marker dropped as soon as the ball was snapped. Had to be either offside or motion. And that will be the case. McElwee indicating illegal motion against the Rams.
The man in motion must have moved toward the line of scrimmage prior to the snap.
Well, Shula is indicating let's forget about it because it puts him in a punting posture. They're about a yard short of the 1st down.
What is a punting posture?
That means
illegal motions, number 78, offense, penalty is declined, 4th down.
That's what Reggie Roby does when he prepares to kick the football.
And
that's the posture he gets in. No,
I'm totally different posture.
Obviously, I mean, it's a situation where they expect you to punt. And they're looking, in this case, for Misko.
You have those great terms.
Fulton Walker is deep, along with Mark Clayton. Pretty good rush on Misko. We get another flag. Clayton at the 32-yard line. Pretty good hang time on that one by Misko, but again, the flag was dropped back at the line of scrimmage. If it is against the Dolphins, of course, it'll give the Rams a 1st down, but it's going to go against Los Angeles, and it will be an ineligible receiver downfield. So now the option will lie with Miami. So they want the Rams to punt it over, move him back 5 yards, or will they take the ball there? There happens to be at the 32-yard line.
Ineligible downfield, number 86, Higgington, penalty is declined, 1st down.
33 yards in the punt. We've got a timeout with 12:50 left to play in the first half.
I like it.
If you really like it, I really like it. We can help you get it. We're GMAC. We want it. We're GMAC Financing.
GMAC has helped more people buy their new GM car or truck than anyone, with rates that make sense on models people want, all at your GM dealer.
If you really want it, we can help you get it. We're GMAC Financing. We got it!
From the land of sky blue waters, from the land of pines, lofty blossoms, comes the beer refreshing.
The bear's taking off, and so will your party when you open up an ice-cold ham. So for you light beer drinkers, Ham's Special Light. Happy landing!
Ham's the beer refreshing. Ham's the beer refreshing. Ham.